Hey Vikings fans, I'm Mike Wobschall of Vikings.com at Mall of America Field in the Gridiron Club, and we're with the chair of the Metropolitan Sports Facilities Commission, Ted Mondale. Mr. Mondale, Governor Dayton appointed you to this position, and I'm sure you've been a busy man on the job so far. Can you kind of tell us what it's been like so far?
Well, we've been quite busy. My goal is twofold. One is we got to get the Vikings a place to play this fall, and it looks like that's all in really good shape. We should be ready to open this facility on the 1st, a good 27 days before the first, hopefully first preseason game. So that's taken care of. The next thing is to get a new home for the Vikings. This facility just it doesn't do enough for the team, and so we're working very hard over at the legislature. We're working with the potential local partners, and we hope before the legislature goes home this year we'll have a new 30-year long-term home for the Vikes.
And that was the next question I was going to ask you. There's roughly 5 weeks left in the session. Do you think that's enough time to get a resolution to this issue?
Yeah, I do believe so. I think the hardest thing right now is with $5 billion, $6 billion deficit and no agreement on the two sides really on how they're going to deal with it. It's really hard to bring a stadium bill forward because you might have funding streams and they may not be there, and the local units of government are saying, well, what if my budget gets cut by $200 million? How do I? So it's going to come at the heels of this session. But I don't think the bill itself is not that complicated, all right? I mean, the politics is complicated, and we have to keep working with that and making sure that we've got enough people who are going to vote for this. But, I mean, it's really what are you going to build, where are you going to build it, and how are you going to pay for it? So, we need Vikings fans to start connecting with their legislators and say, hey, don't go home till you build this stadium.
We could probably write a book with this answer, but in a short version, why is it important to get this issue resolved, the stadium issue resolved this session?
Well, the lease on the stadium expires after 2011. We got a new governor who wants to do this. We have the need. We want the team to be strong. And next year's an election year. Quite frankly, these things are always controversial. They're always close. And your odds of getting it done in a non-election year are just a lot better. I mean, we're a Vikings town. We need to support the team. We want them to grow here. We want them to be here for, my grandkids and great-grandkids. And this is the year to do it. All the elements are in place. There's no excuses to not do it this year.
The Metrodome has been a multi-use facility with a lot of different kinds of events, not just Twins games or Vikings games. Do you envision the next facility that's built in Minnesota to be that type of facility also?
Yes, I think one of the things that happened when the roof went down is people really started to realize how many events are in here. I mean, I've got a son that plays college baseball over at McAllister. They played in some soggy field in Milwaukee. The St. Olaf guys went down to St. Louis, and the University of Minnesota, I guess, probably didn't take classes this spring, and they've been out of town. So there's all these events in here, be it high school sports or college sports or other activities like that. And I think this state needs a large controlled temperature facility for all those things. And I think the legislators say, look, the roof justifies state funding. This is not a cheap thing to do. The state's got to pay a share of it, and I think the roof is really important.
We have a lot of stadium supporters who come to Vikings.com and who are probably watching this interview. What can a Vikings fan do to help this cause and help reach a resolution?
I think the key thing, if you're living in Minneapolis or Ramsey County or Hennepin County, contact your county commissioner. City of Minneapolis, contact your city council member, and statewide, contact your legislator. Say, look, if you look at this thing, the Metrodome was built for $55 million. The state received $400 million worth of taxes since this building was built. Our estimates are if the state puts $300 million into a new facility, they're going to get $1.8 billion back. So when people put up that, this is an argument about schools or nursing homes versus pro athletes, it's like, well, wait a minute, this is about economic development. Anytime you put one in and get 6 or 7 back, that's something you do, because that $1.6 billion profit, that's the money that's going to go to schools. It's going to go to nursing homes. It's going to go to reduce increases in tuition. And I think that's what people need to understand. This is a good investment. It pays off. The NFL is a healthy league. We want to support the Vikings, and we need to be more aggressive to say, now, wait a minute. The naysayers just don't understand the economics of this.
All right. Well, Ted, thank you for joining us, and good luck on the issue. Any opinions on who the Vikings are going to draft?
I haven't been asked by the Wilfs yet, but I'm sure they have. Nobody puts input into that. I think a quarterback might be a good idea. Huh?
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.